pretty. Apparently she was nice. But I didn't answer one question outside of, hello, how was your day? Got that out of the way. My day was, and then she started. This was at dinner. She talked incessant for 2 hours, nonstop, man. It was like a race. I thought I was at the Kentucky Derby. And I knew the only way I was going to get out of this was have to go home. Either fake sickness, go to the bathroom and disappear, something. So finally, I said, look, I'm doing the watch. I'm looking at the watch going, oh, yeah, I gotta go. And she goes, you have somewhere you got to be? I said, actually, yes. An emergency came up and I got to go. Pleasure meeting you. Last time I saw her. But if you've got too much self-esteem and you think too much of yourself, you're going to talk too much. Everybody knows that one sales guy that talks about his trips and talks about his sales and all the women that want him and all the booze he's drank and all the adventures he's had and how people all love him at the company. We know that guy. How popular is he? Again, if you talk too much, is your popularity going to go down? Well, of course. Welcome to What's Your Problem? I'm Scott Farrell, your host. Thanks so much for being part of my day and let me be part of yours. Great topic today. Why do you talk so much? You ever had that friend? Again, I always say friend because I know it's not us, right? It's never us. We don't talk too much. Why do you talk so much? You look at your friend and go, hey man, why do you talk so much? Why are you always talking? Do you ever know how to shut up? When you think of your friend, do you think of duct tape? Do you think of gagging them and putting them in a closet and locking it? Okay, that's how you know somebody talks too much. But are you that person? People ask me all the time, being what I do for a living, America's behavior expert, why do people feel like they have to fill every single piece of space with talking? Or have you ever had that person that comes over to watch a ball game with you? And we have a friend who likes to talk, and unfortunately, he does not know ball game etiquette. Man, when the game's on, you're not jibber-jabbing and talking. We're watching the game. So finally, our youngest goes, you're talking during the game. We talk during commercials. Or yelling at the TV's okay, because that's part of the game flow, or celebrations or whatever, but not talking, the game's on. It's like an automatic, just shh. All right, so people ask me all the time, why do people talk so much? Well, I brought my list with me today, and I'm going to tell you why. Why do people feel like they have to fill every moment of every day with words? All right, number one reason, and these are in no particular order of importance. It's a learned behavior. I know my mom, I can say my mom. My mom liked to talk. Man, my mom would call people like 11 o'clock at night and stay on the phone for all hours of the night. And this was in the 60s and 70s. And I'm like, Mom, what is there to talk about? And then we'd go out somewhere and my mom would talk to everybody. To say I'm not a social butterfly is an understatement. I don't talk. I talk to the camera, yeah, or I talk to a microphone. But I don't really talk when I go out. People have always noticed that if my wife's not with me, I don't really say anything. My wife's a good socializer. I'm not the best at it. So I don't even understand why it is, but it's a learned behavior a lot of times. We see our parents do it. A lot of times, many people have a parent that like to talk. And you can actually learn how to talk all the time. Is it the best way to get to know people and win friends? No. But if it's a learned behavior, because think about it, we're programmed as humans. We're born for success, programmed to fail, right? So 0 to 7, everything that we've observed, 0 to 7, is locked in our subconscious. Well, is that locked in yours? Now, that's not the biggest reason people talk all the time. I'm building. But it can be one of the things. An observable world, so you observe people talking. So you observe that people talk a lot, have a lot of friends, or are very popular, or make better business deals. So you adapt that behavior. All right, so that's one. Next one, low self-esteem. Now we're getting on something. Okay, so now there's two coins, and I'm going to go to the next one next, but I'll handle this one first. Low self-esteem. We will fill up space because we don't know who we are, where we're going. We don't know who God is. We don't know why we're created. We don't understand our own importance. We don't understand why we're here. We don't understand what we're doing. We don't really know where we're going. And again, I know that's not you, but somebody you know. So we try to fill in the gaps with words, and we talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk some more because we don't know who we are. And if we don't know who we are, we're trying to adjust. So what we do is we take a poll, kind of like a politician does. We'll survey the room. We'll go into a party and we survey the room. And we see who the cool people are, who's not, who we need to talk to. And then we try to impress them, or we try to fill space, or we try to one-up them, or we try to be part of their group and then talk about stuff we're not really sure of. Is that a good way to win friends? Is that a good way to get through life? Is that a productive way to get anything? Okay, no. One, it eventually catches up with you and they find out you don't know what you're talking about, or you become the person that they always talk about once you leave. Hey, did you hear what that person was saying? They realize that they don't even know what they're talking about, or you don't be that guy. Don't be that person, because now everybody knows the reason you're talking is you got a low self-esteem. Well, how do you know? Because you're always trying to chime in with what they're talking about. You can always tell when someone's insecure. You can tell when they don't know who they are. You can tell when they're filling airtime, kind of like radio. You used to do radio. 3 seconds of dead air is an eternity on radio because you can't see what people are doing. So you have to fill the air with talk, and I used to do a 2-hour show. Do you know how tired I was after 2 hours? Even though on the half, every half hour you only talk like 18 minutes. But it's 18 minutes of continuous talk. And then it's 18 more, and then it's 18 more. See where I'm going with this. And then some half hours a little longer. So, you're worn out by the time you get done. But you listen to those people. I remember I interviewed a lady on the radio one time. And I had an hour show at the time, and you know, every half you got a commercial break. So you go 9, 7 commercial breaks. She talked through all the commercial breaks. I had signed off. It's a live show, live call-in show. I had signed off the air. My producers already started a new show, and we still had the receiver going. She was still talking. She talked so much. I asked one question at the beginning of the show, and she talked continuously for 58 minutes. We left the station. I think my producer, to see how long she would talk, left the phone on. She was still talking after I left the station. And you don't want to be that person. And that's only happened to me one time, because the other death knell in radio is you get a guest that answers yes and no. Had that happen to me, I had another 57 minutes to go with a guy who answered yes and no. That was interesting. All right, so he talked not enough. All right, so low self-esteem, it's going to be a killer. What can you do? Well, figure out why Jesus died for you on the cross first, and then get your purpose, plan, direction, and figure out how much value you really have, and then go live your life. All right, next one. The next reason people talk too much is they have too much self-esteem. It's the opposite. It's the person that's, hey man, what was it, Toby Keith? Let's talk about me. Great song he wrote. Let's talk about me. Let's talk about me. Hey, let's talk about me. You know that guy? Now, a lot of the pro ball players like the Ocho Cinco or Tio. Tio's actually a really nice guy. They're talking about themselves. I mean, it's a PR promo thing. But a lot of times they have lower self-esteem. The guy who's lady, guy, whatever, I think I'm better than you. I'm better than you. I'm prettier than you. I'm smarter than you. I'm better looking than you. I'm more athletic than you. There's a lot of people out there that talk too much because they believe their own press. One of my favorite shows now, is Ted Lasso. If you have not watched this show, oh my gosh, especially if you're a soccer fan. But there's a character named Jamie Tart. He's got his own song, like a lot. That's what's cool about soccer. You can sing songs and then cheer and all these things that go with it. But Jamie likes to sing his own song. And then there's one scene where he's motioning in the back of his jersey. Hey, it's about me. It's about me. He believes that he's the best thing there, the best looking thing there, and nobody can touch him. And, you know, what do they say? It ain't bragging if it's true. Look at Michael Jordan. He was able to back up everything he said. So it ain't bragging if it's true. But he didn't think he could do it by himself. So let's look at this. Probably you know someone or have encountered someone that does nothing but talk about how wonderful they are. Now, I've been on dates like this. I went on a date one time. This is 20-some years ago. Lady's really pretty. Apparently, she was nice. But I didn't answer one question outside of hello, how was your day? Got that out of the way. My day was, and then she started. This was at dinner. She talked incessant for 2 hours, nonstop, man. It was like a race. I thought I was at the Kentucky Derby. And I knew the only way I was going to get out of this was have to go home. Either fake sickness, go to the bathroom and disappear, something. So finally, I said, look, I'm doing the watch. I'm looking at the watch going, oh, yeah, I gotta go. And she goes, you have somewhere you got to be? I said, actually, yes. An emergency came up and I've got to go. Pleasure meeting you. Last time I saw her. But if you've got too much self-esteem and you think too much of yourself, you're going to talk too much. Everybody knows that one sales guy that talks about his trips and talks about his sales and all the women that want him and all the booze he's drank and all the adventures he's had and how people all love him at the company. We know that guy. How popular is he? Again, if you talk too much, is your popularity going to go down? Well, of course. It's funny, you can see, I watch The Office. So what do we do with people that talk too much? We hide. We see them at the water cooler, at the coffee maker. We see them in the lounge, whatever it is. We avoid them like the plague because we don't want to get roped into another conversation. Because we really don't want to be around them and they're annoying and then they're just going to talk about themselves anyway. So why should we even talk to them? We all know that person. All right, let me get to the next one. Nerves. Some people talk because they're nervous. And you can pick those folks out because they just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk till they're tired. And they're nervous being around you. Now, I've also been on dates when girls did that. That doesn't irritate me. I mean, if they're nervous, I'll just grab their hand and go, look, relax. It's okay. We're just here to talk. We're just getting to know each other. And I made a lot of friends that way. It's okay. We're not going to date, but I think you're really cool. Can we be friends? And once they got calmed down, they stopped talking as much. And the problem is, though, if you get the nervous person and you add alcohol to it, then you've got a major problem. Had that happen to me one time. Went on a date, went to a Braves game. Very nice lady. Still probably wonderful to this day. But she was nervous and she was talking a lot and then she drank something. Then she realized she was afraid of heights. And we were at the top of the old Braves Stadium, if you know what I'm talking about. And she was afraid to come down the steps. So it was a very interesting night, to say the least. Now, we actually went out again, and she actually went to med school, so we couldn't date. But she had to go to med school in another part of the country. But it was very interesting to see somebody. Well, I was flattered because she was actually nervous to go out with me. I mean, I was like, wow, nobody's ever nervous to go out with me, and this is a new one. So I was flattered that she cared enough to be concerned about that. But it was very interesting. We got her down. We actually went and got something to eat. So it turned out to be a great evening. But that was interesting. But I could tell by the rapid rate of speech that she was nervous. You can tell because they're just boom, 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 boom. And they're just jumping from topic to topic to topic to topic to topic. Now, I'm taking mental illness out of this because I don't want to talk about that around. I'm just talking about fun stuff today. So nerves. You see these people when they do an interview. And I've interviewed them before to where the normal person talks like this, where they're going, blah, 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 and another thing, and another thing, and it's like, did somebody hit fast forward? I have watched people almost hyperventilate that I was interviewing because when the camera light came on or when the microphone came on, they got scared. And they were just as normal as could be till that light came on. I don't know what it is about a camera light or a mic light that comes on a radio station. People freeze. So they'll either not talk at all or they'll go into talking at 120 miles an hour. It's one or the other. And so you have to know that about you. Now, I know I've covered topics today especially that don't have anything to do with you because I know you don't talk too much. I did a group last night. I've sat with a group last night working with them on the whiteboard. And I said, all right, raise your hand if you talk too much. And I told them, I said, everybody get your hand up. Stop talking. Here's the thing with talking too much. Do you get on people's nerves? Yes. 100% of the time. Why? Like any business guru will tell you, who do people want to talk about when you go to a networking meeting? Oh, themselves. If you're the most popular person in a networking meeting, I remember an old salesman tell me that. Just talk about other people. So I'll go to a networking meeting and nobody barely knows my name. But I'm one of the most popular guys there because I go, hey, tell me about yourself. Tell me about your kids. Tell me about your wife or husband. Tell me about what you do. What was the great, all these things. I don't talk about me. Very few people really know me. I mean, I don't talk about me that much. Our kids are still finding stuff out about me because I don't sit around. I'm normally talking about somebody else. I mean, I'm a behavior person. I'm a behavior consultant. So when people hire me, who are they hiring me to talk about? Oh, them. Yeah. So, all right. So here's some ways to stop this. I'm going to help you out if you talk too much. Make a decision not to talk as much. I tell people it's a 2-to-1 ratio. 1 mouth, 2 ears, right? So listen twice as much as you talk. Okay? You're doing a lot of people a lot of favors when you do this. Also, if you're going to talk, make sure it's something everybody wants to talk about. Now, it's different when you're with the fellas. I mean, okay, so me and the guys get together. We just talk about stuff. Now, what do guys talk about? Hunting, fishing, cars, women, sports. That sounds about right. Hunting, fishing, cars, women, sports. Eventually, we'll talk about our kids, sort of, but that's what we talk about. There's always one guy who talks too much, and you've got 2 guys who don't talk at all. I mean, that's how guys groups go. And then I'll go to some women's groups, not all, because not all women like talk. Not all women shop, not all women do anything. This one particular group I was with last night, though, they all like to talk. So it's interesting to see people who like to talk and talk over each other. Don't competitive talk. People don't like that. The best thing to do is ask questions about other people. So if you're in a new situation and you are nervous, instead of talking about you, ask somebody about them. Hey, tell me a little bit about yourself. So now it gives you an opportunity to bring the nerves down. Now you're not the focus. Same reason why people freeze when a red light comes on. They're now the focus. So what they want to do is they try to ease back the tension. It's no different than an athlete going out and burning up all their energy during warm-up because they're nervous. No, slow pace it. If you ask questions of other people, you'll slow your pace down. Now, there's not a whole lot I can do if you have too much self-esteem. I mean, there's nothing I can do about that. If you're full of crap, you're full of crap. There's nothing I can do about it. I know, and if it's not bragging if you can do it. All right, so if you can do it, it ain't bragging. Now, low self-esteem is a whole different story. A low self-esteem can destroy your life. It'll stop you from getting anything you want out of life. It'll stop you from having the ideal spouse and maximizing who you are as a person. I should know. I had a low self-esteem as a kid. I ended up being a drug addict, a drunk. You name it, I did it. That was despicable. And then I found Christ, and then I got my self-esteem, and I was able to identify who I was through Him. So that saved me a lot of pain. Right? So that can be handled. And then if it's a learned behavior, just think about your parents. I tell people all the time, make a chart of every annoying behavior your parents had. Chances are, if they programmed you, you have that behavior. All right, if it's annoying behavior that still annoys you, write out beside it, make a little chart, write out beside it, how to change it. See how easy that is? All right, I'm not going to belabor this point because talking too much, the last thing you want me to do is talk too much about talking too much. All right, but if this is you or that friend we're thinking about right now, again, you have to be careful with which podcast you share with your friends because they may not be your friends anymore if you share certain podcasts, right? But if it's you, realize that talking too much annoys everyone, and you might not want to do it anymore and use the 2-to-1 ratio. 1 mouth, 2 ears. All right, so the key with what we do here, what your problem is, we want to be a service to you. We want to be able to help you. If you want resources and tips from me, all right, I'm going to give you a place to get it. It's wyppodcast.com. wyppodcast.com is how you reach those resources. All right, so that's how you find a lot of data about us. All right, so that's easy. Now, if you have a problem that you want me to cover on camera or on microphone or on in public, send it to me. All right, so we've got a dedicated place to send that to. Write this down if that's what you want. Problem at wyppodcast.com. Try not to let my country twang get in the way. I don't say W. So it's problem at wyppodcast.com. Also, if you enjoy our content and you're enjoying these topics that we're covering, subscribe. It's not very hard. Just go subscribe. It's easy. I'll give you a free hug if I ever see you. How's that? Free hug? Maybe I'll buy you a cup of coffee. Something. But go ahead and subscribe to that. Also, if we cover something and it's pertinent to your friends, family, whoever it is, or if you think it's a great thing that we covered it, share it. Hey man, if we go to a nice restaurant and we really liked it, we tell at least 20 people. So if I cover a topic that you like, share it. A lot of people have a lot of problems. That's why we started this. And if I can be of service to someone with the problem they have, so be it. A lot of times I watch and listen to podcasts, and I share those immediately. One of the guys I share all the time is a guy named Scott McCain. Scott handles distinction in the marketplace. I don't know anybody that's better than he is. He is the best at what he does. So everything that Scott has, I share. And I don't think there's a video out there that I haven't watched that he's done. Why? Because distinction is very important if you want to make money in the marketplace. All right. Plus, he's a really cool guy, and he's got a great story, and he's written some fabulous books, and he's told his life story about losing his wife to cancer. I think it was cancer. So very moving, and I was sick, and my wife actually talked to Scott about that situation. All right. So subscribe. Send us problems, send me emails, let me know if there's something you want me to cover, and let me give you that website one more time, wyppodcast.com. Very simple. All right. My name is Scott Farrell. Thanks so much for being part of my problem and your problem, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.